Hello, friends and artists. Mrs. Gordon here. So today we are going to continue our study of Miss Faith Ringgold, and we are going to create a four-piece quilt with a border that uses both pattern, which is a principle of design, a repetition of line or shape, or color or a combination thereof. And we're going to use some of Miss Faith Ringgold's ideas about making quilts, not just with different patterns, but also that tell a story, tell something about our lives, maybe are included or use something that's important to us, important people or things or pets in our life. So today we're going to do a four-piece quilt with a border. You'll need a piece of paper and some things to draw and color with. So I'm just going to start off with my piece of paper, and I want to fold it 2 times. One this way, and I'll open it up and reverse the fold to get it to lie flat, and one the other way. And when you are done, you will have four rectangles, which it's hard for you to see. I'll draw them in there in just a minute. What we're going to do first is we're going to draw a border all the way around our paper. Now you could use a ruler for this if you wanted to. I'm just going to freehand it because I'm not too worried about it. I'm going to do it, maybe I'll do it in pencil. So I'm just going to draw a line straight across each end of my paper. And if it's not perfect, is that okay? 100%. It's okay. Art isn't about being perfect. Art is about making something interesting or unique or special to you. So if the line's not perfect, guess what? Neither are we. So there's my border all the way around. And I actually, because I drew the line, let's see if I can get this a little taller for you. Because I drew the line and I just crossed over it, I'm left with these really unique squares in the corner. Then I'm going to draw a line on my fold and a line this way. Okay, so now you're left with this kind of four-piece quilt design. You're not actually going to cozy up with this at night, but a four-piece quilt design. And I'm going to ask you to take 2 of the rectangles, okay, and you get to choose which 2, and to draw a picture of something that's important to you. For example, and the one that I did as an example, I drew a picture of our dog Grover, who passed away last year, and I was very sad. And then in the other one, I could have drawn a picture of our other dog, Maya, but I decided to make this a quilt about Grover, so I did a bone with Grover's name on it. So on this one, let's see, let's see. Oh, I think I might make it an art quilt. So I'm going to draw a picture. A lot of Faith Ringgold's works had pictures of people. And I'm going to draw, I'm trying to think of what her hairline looks like. I think it looks kind of like this. I'm going to draw a picture of one of my favorite artists, Frida Kahlo. And she frequently had these flowers in her hair. And she was kind of known for this unibrow, which I love. And also kind of known for a little mustachio. Listen, whatever floats your boat. So I'm going to draw a picture of one of my favorite artists, Frida Kahlo. And maybe down here I'll draw, let's see, something else. Maybe I'll draw, to show that she's a painter, I'll draw a palette. So it doesn't necessarily have to be another person. I was thinking it could be her husband Diego, who was also an artist. I don't know him as well to draw. Couldn't picture him, but I could work that out. But instead I'm going to make it something that helps me understand more about Frida Kahlo. So I'm going to make a paint palette, so I know something that's important to her is our paints and painting. So you're going to pick 2 squares to draw or start to tell a story of something that's important to you. And the other 2 squares are going to be left to make a pattern. So Faith Ringgold talked about how she would often take patterned fabric and then add to the pattern. And we're going to kind of do that ourselves today too. We're going to make a pattern and then add to a pattern. And I'll color this in later. And I might, like I said, decide to have pictures in the corner. Maybe I'll make it a letter, like an F for Frida Kahlo. Frida Kahlo, so I'll do her initials. I can go over these lines. I can draw patterns on my border. Maybe a heart pattern, repeated shapes like a heart. Later, I can color my border in, or I can leave parts of it white. You get to choose. But I can't wait to show you about making a pattern and some of my shortcuts for making a pattern. Now, I hope you have crayons. Some of you might even have gotten color sticks. I love color sticks. They're my favorite. That's what I'm going to be using today to add my color with. And this technique would even work with markers too. So if I want to make a pattern, patterns can be really hard to color in if you draw them first and then have to color everything in. So I know that I think I'm going to use like the green down here. So I'm using the edge of my color stick because I know that really speeds up. Instead of using the end, I lay my color stick on its side, and this will also work with crayons, and I color the whole quilt square in with crayons. This works if you do a light color. If you do a dark color for your background, this does not work so well. So I could pick a light color like orange or green or yellow or a light blue or a pink, and I could color in my whole square that one color. And let's see, maybe I'll do orange down here. And I'm using the edge, and you can peel off part of the paper of your crayon. That's the way crayons work best, is when their edges are exposed. And then you can color it in using the side, and that saves you so much time. Once I have that whole thing colored in, then it's really super fun to go in and add a pattern to it. Now remember, pattern is a principle of design. It's a repetition of a line or a shape or a color. So I think I want to do a stripe on this one. I'm just going to draw a stripe over it. Now, just like that, I have a pattern. And like what Faith Ringgold is, she would start with a pattern and then she would add her own little bits to the pattern. So maybe she adds a wavy line, paints a wavy line on it. And I'm going to show you one of my favorite tricks in just a minute. Now, Frida Kahlo was not somebody who I would associate with the color or with the pattern plaid. But if she were, I can with the one I did on Grover here, I colored the whole thing in yellow, and then I drew vertical lines that were red and horizontal lines that were red, and I made kind of that window pane or checkerboard pattern. But then I went in and I did a vertical wavy line in green vertically, and then I did a horizontal wavy line in green in between my red, and it starts to look like it's a plaid. Now for her, I think I'm just going to leave it that way. I might add some more designs in there, like maybe some polka dots. I also feel like Miss Frida Kahlo, pardon me. I feel like Frida Kahlo was um, someone who might have like flowers or leaves, like some sort of leaf pattern. So I might do some sort of a floral pattern. And I kind of made a mistake with where I was putting my dots. And so now I'm just going to go and put the dots on both sides. So I'm just adding to my pattern some circles, little dots. But it feels to me very much like a Frida kind of pattern, like a Latin America, Mexico pattern. I am going to want to go and color in my border a little bit. Now that you know that good technique, you could, instead of having to color all the way around your hearts, you could do like color the whole thing in yellow and then just color the hearts in red, and that saves you so much time in coloring. Because this is a big piece of paper to color in. But if I do it in yellow, which is hard to see my yellow, but there it is, and then I go through and I color in my hearts, I have it nicely done there. So maybe I'm going to do like a leaf pattern on here for Frida. And maybe I'll even add some flowers in here. Maybe I'll add a center to my flower. Add another flower down here. So I went out my border a little bit. Turn it into a beautiful oops, right, friends? So I'm super curious to know like who you add to your quilt design with your important people. Are you going to have family members? Are you going to have a pet? Are you going to have a sports person that you really like, or an artist that you really like, or a singer or a performer that you really enjoy? Who are you going to make your 4-piece quilt about? Remember, 2 of the pieces will need to have pictures of something that's important to you, and 2 of the pieces will need to have patterns. And we learned a good technique for how to create a pattern by coloring in the whole thing in first and then using a darker color to go over it with stripes or flowers or lines or polka dots. So friends, I hope you're enjoying learning about the amazing artist, Miss Faith Ringgold, and I hope you enjoy designing your own quilt about something that's important to you. Happy art making, friends.